Hello guys, it's me. I'm gonna attempt to make video number 2. Okay, so yeah, I have been crying, you might notice. I've got a bit of lipstick on, so it kind of makes me look a little bit less like I've been crying. So I've just been playing this, I've just completed it. I made a video about it the other day and I was just completely buzzing about it. I was just talking about Trico. It was just basically a video about how much I love Trico. There will be spoilers in this. It's not really going to be a review, it's going to be more just a talking about it. So I just got past the section where me and Trico had got separated and I mentioned how I cried like a baby. I couldn't even play it properly, that section, because my eyes were just constantly streaming, because it was just really sad to me to be separated from Trico, because this game does an incredible job of making you bond with him. He's just beautiful, you know, he's beautiful, he's gorgeous to look at, he's got deep eyes. I mean, they change depending. If you're going to feed him, they go all white and he's like, you can see he's excited, anticipating the food. His eyes do change, but normally they're just really dark, and because they got these black bits here, it looks like he's crying almost. So he's just got the most adorable face. He looks like a dog. I don't know what Trico's supposed to be, but he looks like a dog to me. That is what I see, that is what I feel from him. Even though he's got legs like a griffin and wings and horns, he generally looks like a dog and acts like a dog as well. So he's like a giant dog, you know, with sad eyes. How can you not get attached to that? So yeah, this game has touched me like no other game has before. I've cried on games before, but this has made me cry on another level. Yes, I'm just glad I was on my own when I played a majority of this. When I completed it, I'm glad I was on my own, because the tears were I just couldn't stop them. This is a really great game for making you think, because it really doesn't hold your hand. Sometimes it guides you. He will talk to you occasionally, I guess if he thinks you're struggling. He didn't do it in the tree though. I only have to say the tree, and people have played this and like, yeah, I've been there, man. I've been there. It wasn't pleasant time. So yeah, there's this tree. You get caught in this tree, and Trico is down the bottom, all distressed because he can't get to you. He tried and it failed. And you can struggle and you can use jump to kind of swing your body, and you get a bit of momentum going at one point, and you look like you should be able to whoop and off. You just have this thing in your head that's gonna happen, because look at his body, there's no way that this ain't gonna work. So I was there for about 30 minutes. Legend has it that people are still there today trying to get out of the tree. So I reluctantly googled it, because I really wanted to play this game without googling it. I googled it a few times because I just didn't know. Sometimes I did know, but I wasn't thinking about it the right way. But yeah, so I googled the tree after swinging around and struggling. And the game did not tell you this. I am positive the game did not tell you this. Apparently you can tell Trico to do a special command with R1 and circle. And that's what you have to do in that situation. He jumps straight above you and hangs his tail down, and you can swing to it and escape. There's also a water puzzle room, which is also something I had to Google because it was a flipping nightmare. And that, again, I had an idea, but I didn't know how to execute it. So the game did not tell me that. The guide didn't even say, oh, Trico loved to be commanded with one circle. No, it didn't tell me anything. Didn't tell me, just left me there struggling for half an hour. God, the game did not even tell me I could do that. It can tell you can direct him with R1 and a direction, but not triangle, circle, X or square. That is something the game wanted to keep a secret, a dirty little secret, so you're stuck in the tree for fucking days. Sorry, there will be a bit of swearing in this. I know I shouldn't really swear, but hey, what the hell. And the water room, yes, the one where you're in the water. Trico is above you on a wooden floor that you can see is a bit crumbly and dusty. You can just see that the floor is very strong as Trico is walking around on it. You call him and call him and call him and direct him and tell him R1 and circle, R1 triangle, just in case. None of these things worked. He just looked down the hole at you. So many people complain about this puzzle because it's not very obvious what you do, and when it does happen, it's a bit doesn't really work too well. You just have to move the block around in the water. I keep calling Trico until he smashes the floor and his tail can come down. There's a certain area at the back where his tail comes down, but there's also a wooden beam underneath where his tail likes to get hooked. So getting his tail down is really difficult. You just have to keep persisting. You have to drive Trico up the wall calling his name all the time. Trico! Do it again, Trico! Do it one more time, Trico! Your tail's hooked, Trico! I have to try again. Another puzzle I had to Google because I was doing it the wrong way is the one in the White Tower where you have to get the heads onto the robots and activate the robots to get the shield plates at the back of them. I was activating them all. I was dying. Then I was putting the heads slightly close to the ones that needed a head. By the way, they get the wrong heads on. He's got Gary's head on him and he fancies a kebab even though he doesn't like kebabs because it's Gary's head and Gary loves a kebab. Anyway, yes, so I was running around the room activating and putting the heads near the ones that needed heads so I could quickly throw them, because picking up a head and walking with it while there's 3 or 4 those robots running around is not fun times and it's impossible. And my hands were hurting so much from doing this. Where they were capturing me and I had to free myself. And I was like, there must be an easy way. So I was like, what am I doing wrong? Because I've tried 6 or 7 times now. So I googled it, an easy way to do the White Tower. And I realised, because there was pictures, Trico's tail is hanging down. And I have the mirror, which makes his tail do electricity. It's so obvious. But did I think about it? No, I just completely ignored his tail because I thought you had to do something in here. So I've had to Google a couple of things and some of them I've been like, for God's sake, I really could have figured that out if I just looked around a bit more. I was very anti walkthrough at the start. No, I won't look for walkthrough. I have a brain, I'm good at puzzles. But by the end I was just like running around for 15 minutes. I can't figure it out. Google. So I just got a bit lazy towards the end. I really love it. I think it's a masterpiece of a game. It's extremely long. It was really long. Sometimes when you think it's going to end, it doesn't. Love games like that. Couple of twists through it. It's crazy, really. My jaw was on the floor several times. You could have put a coconut in there or an apple and framed me as a pig. I mean, there will be spoilers in this, I've warned you. At the start of the game, and what is that rusty thing? What is it? And at the end you figure out, and it's like, oh my god, is this the mirror? Holy shit, it's the mirror all those years later and the ground rusted. Blew my mind. And now you meet Trico, like you wake up just with Trico on the floor. He's wounded, he's got spears in him, he's got armour on and a weird mask, and you just question it. You're like, well, that's a bit weird, but okay. And then halfway through or so, I don't know whereabouts it is in the game, somewhere in the game it reveals to you that Trico has come as an evil Trico, put his head through the window, eaten you, flew off. He's been attacked by your villagers, that's where all the spears and stuff came from, got struck by lightning, fell down, carried to the place you start by the robots. I don't know why that is. And then you come out of his mouth later, he like regurgitates you. He's a bit like a bird as well because he regurgitates. So it's a bird, dog, griffin thing. Those robots, by the way, they are not fun times. I really don't like running away from enemies, and that's basically what you have to do a lot of the time with these bastards. They're really scary, aren't they? At first they're scarier because they look like robots. At the end they look a little bit like men in suit of armour, so they're not as scary. You know that they're robots because they charge in panels with no heads. I don't know any humans that can do that. I just love it with a passion. It's such a good game. It's beautiful. The music is incredible. It's made very well. And the main character is an absolute delight to play as. His animations and stuff are very nice. He's quite clumsy, which at first is quite charming. But when you're at a point where, like the White Tower, which I was doing completely incorrectly, so I was getting particularly pissed off with it because he would get grabbed and I would free him by doing this, which really hurts after a while. And it would take ages to get off the floor. Now, that's a really cute animation, but it's actually very, very frustrating when you're trying to get away from robots and get your shield in very quickly and get heads to other robots so you can get shield in behind them. And I just found it really annoying after a while, the fact he stumbles and falls very, very easily. But at first, when it's a beautiful game and there's no stress, because it's sort of like picks up, it takes a whoop and the danger and the peril. It's all nice and calm, and all of a sudden it's really dangerous. Some of the climbing scenes in this, oh my god, some of the climbing, oh Jesus Christ. We had to climb over the iMobile. It looks like a children's mobile, because you have to get rid of stained glass eyes because it locks Trico in place. Trico doesn't like them, and you have to get rid of them. They're a thing that you just have to get rid of to progress with Trico, because I don't want them upsetting my Trico. Thank you. None of that. So yeah, so with the climbing, we have to climb that giant iMobile. You just have to climb through the glass. There's holes in the glass and tiny little platforms. Oh my days. But it's really impressive. Some of the climbing in this is very impressive. It's like, Jesus, that's really great. But yeah, amazing game, full of twists and things you don't see. Like, oh god, my goodness. And at the end, they regurgitate, it looks like children, into this bird statue, and then they come out as barrels. After seeing Trico eat me, I kind of thought, well, I must be food for them. He's eating me. But they literally eat them, then regurgitate them out into a machine, which turns them into another food source. Don't quite understand that, but it did make me think, oh my god. They go out and eat children, it seems, come back to this place, put them in a machine, and the children turn into barrels. That is what I got from that scene. I could be wrong, but that's really morbid. There's all these barrels all over the floor, and you're like, what is this? That is really strange. I think it's maybe to make you rethink about it, because you feed Trico you feed Trico barrels through the entire game. So you're technically feeding him children. I think maybe that's just to make you think about it differently, because I didn't think about it until now. That is what you're doing. A barrel. Trico likes them. He gets all excited and his eyes go white. Oh, is that a delicious barrel for me? My favourite. Just makes you think about it a bit differently, doesn't it? I think 50% of the game is me just stroking Trico. Just petting Trico and making sure he's okay, because he stroke his wounds and they seem to go away. So whenever he was wounded, I'd always make my 4-hour trip over to the wound. It's like a puzzle getting off of Trico. I just can't seem to master climbing Trico successfully. It always seems to go the wrong way. I'll get locked in a position where I think, well, you should just be able to go down there. Sometimes I'm trying to go down off of Trico and going around his chin, over his head, hanging upside down on his cheek. I just think he must get pissed off with hanging off his ear all the time. I'm so sorry, Trico, I'm trying to get down, but it's really like a puzzle in itself. I just really cannot recommend this game enough. But yeah, to bring the tissues, oh my god. I think I bonded with Trico the minute I saw him. I mean, I saw him in a video on YouTube. I was watching a video on YouTube and they talked about it briefly. I was like, oh my god, look, you get to climb over a giant dog. I totally have to play that game. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and I saw it in a shop and I was like, that's that game with that giant dog in. So it was literally, as soon as I saw Trico, I was enchanted and I really needed to know more about this giant dog. Hi guys, this is Liamane Elsie recording the correct way up. What has happened? Have we entered the Twilight Zone? Yes, so when I talked about The Last Guardian, I forgot to mention this. As you can tell by the title, it was when I got jump scared by Trico's tail. So there was a point in the game, I'd had it switched on for a while, and Trico started to glitch. It was the part where he had put his head in the hole and he was after the pot. And you had to try and stop him sniffing the pot by closing the lid. But I noticed that Trico's tail looked especially different. There was green patches on it. You know, like the vines you climb? There was green patches all up his tail. And his tail was a lot shorter, and about 5 to 10 feet away was the end of Trico's tail, just floating around. It was just there, hovering in the air. But it didn't look like Trico's tail, because Trico's tail has a fluffy tip, but it's quite streamlined. It's almost like a cat's tail. But the tip that was waving around in the air was like long and furry. It was very flat and it was long and furry, and it didn't look like Trico's tail at all. So I don't really know why Trico's tail glitched, but it wasn't actually Trico's tail. It was some mystery tail part. But yeah, it was hovering around in the air for ages. And I just kind of got a bit used to it. I was like, okay, Trico's glitched. It still doesn't ruin the game for me. He still looks bloody adorable. He still does what he's supposed to do. He's still Trico, so I'm not going to complain. It's just a glitch. But there was a point where it actually jump scared me. It was an area where you had to sneak past those robots and pull the chain so you could open it. I love those bits, by the way. They're so intense. Where you've got to pull the chain and the door gradually opens. The Trico is trying his best to get in to save you. You've got this time limit to shit. The robots are going to activate because their light is coming round. But it was one of those rooms and I was a bit lost. Trico wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do. He kept trying to go to a gate and scratch it, but I needed him to jump above, but I didn't know the jump above command at this point, so I was trying to direct him forward towards it. He was just walking around all confused, so I was trying to direct him back outside where I originally climbed up and progressed into this room so I could get back there and try again. So Trico was just all kinds of confused, walking around like, what are you trying to tell me? I might be cute, but sometimes I'm just a little bit slow to get there. So I was just sort of like walking around lost, trying to get to this area above, and I just turned around and I wasn't expecting it. I'd let my guard down. I was like, oh! Calm down, it's Trico's tail. It just proves that you don't need a booming jump scare to get your heart going. I just turned around and there was this thing in the air. Wow, what's that? It's Trico's tail. Forgot all about it for a second there. And then other parts of Trico started to come away. Underneath him there was fluff starting to come away. Why is Trico melting? So Trico did start to fall apart. But then I saved it and restarted and everything was back to normal again. So it was just, think it's because it had been on a while. I don't know. I'd been playing it a while and I guess it had just got a bit hot. I'd hate to think what had happened if I'd left it on any longer. His head might have come away from his body and have his head flying around all the place. It's like, be like that boss from Twilight Princess. I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. Bye.